So I don't know about you guys, but there's nothing more satisfying in CS2 to me than lining up an early round wallbang with an AWP and then actually hitting it. But there's absolutely nothing worse than realizing that you forgot to record it. So that's why I let OUTPLAYED record everything for me. It saves me time, storage space, and gives me the peace of mind that I'm never gonna miss anything important. But what's important, you might ask? Well, whatever you want it to be. You can pick kills, assists, deaths, or even match wins. Whatever you pick will come up on the timeline where you can then trim and share your clips with whoever you want, wherever you want. There are tons of supported games, so be sure to check out the link in the description for free. Thanks again to OUTPLAYED for sponsoring this video. So let's go ahead and get started by backtracking just a little bit to the first clip you saw in this video. So anytime you feel like the T's are set up behind generator here, this happens most often whenever your teammates have been aggressive in mid and they feel like it's necessary to set up back here and watch for a push. Whenever you feel like this is happening, it may not be too bad of an idea to come right here to this nice piece of wall, go right into the middle where this line is, and then turn around and find these 3 zeros to the right of this elevator. If you go up to this line, that is head level on generator back there. And if you go right to the middle of this 0 all the way up to the top, that is the dead center of generator right at head level. So if you shoot through that, you're gonna do right at 131 damage to anyone standing right in the dead center of generator here. This is a super good cross-map wallbang to try because it's not very risky, and if you hit it, your teammates are gonna absolutely freak out that you got an early round cross-map wallbang headshot with an AWP. So now moving on over to Overpass, one of my favorite things to do on this map with an AWP is I'm gonna run straight out of spawn, go up these stairs and into this corner. I'm gonna crouch, find this narrow pole right here. I'm gonna double scope in and find this black speck right here. It's actually pretty easy to find. You can use this as a reference and just go up to it and you shoot right in the middle of that. And that's gonna go all the way through here and it's gonna headshot any of the CTs as they're running through here. Now this isn't a super high probability chance that you're gonna hit this, but whenever you do, it's definitely worth the shot. Both sides are gonna freak out at the fact that you just got a wallbang headshot entry 10 seconds into the round. So now moving on over to Inferno, a great wallbang you can go for is whenever you feel like there's a CT set up in this position right here, you can actually get tucked up into this corner and you can scope in at this little diamond right in this position. At the very top of it, you can just do a simple shot through it with an AWP, and that's gonna do 155 damage and blast the guy right out of this deep corner here. That's a great one to do whenever you have this smoke that's right in front of truck thrown, to where you don't have to worry about any other angles from either graveyard or from back pit or anything like that. And especially it's useful whenever your teammates are posted up here ready to swing onto site. If you're the AWPer, it's pretty free to just go right here and take that shot, and it's very rewarding if you're able to hit it. So now let's go ahead and move on over to Nuke. So one of the more common wallbangs that people go for, if you go right here into this corner and find the bottom right section of this hard hat and shoot right through it, well, that's gonna go all the way through this wall and it's gonna headshot anyone set up here on Tetris for 144 damage. That's a really fun shot to go for because it's actually pretty high probability. People sit in this area a ton, especially mid to late round whenever they're expecting a push through hut. So while I definitely recommend going for this from time to time, one of my favorite things to do instead is to go right here into this corner, and instead of aiming in the bottom right of this hard hat, I'll move my crosshair over from that position to this little line right here. And what that's gonna do is not only when you shoot through this, is it gonna hit this guy for 134 damage, but it's also gonna hit anyone in this position for 326. So if you're unsure if anyone's inside this position, maybe you've had a player die in hut and you're just coming in on a rotate with an AWP, if you think someone may be set up in this position, well, you can go for this wallbang right here. And if they're not there, there may be a chance that they're right here. So you double your odds of hitting the shot because there's 2 positions for this one wallbang lineup. So now let's take a look at Mirage. So one of my favorite wallbangs to go for on this map is whenever there's someone playing right here beside jail, I love to just destroy this angle. So what I'll do is I'll go right to the front of this little stove. I'll crouch down to this little line along the grease stain here. I'm gonna turn around and there's a nice little white dot that's very easy to spot right here. You can just go up to that, just to about right here, just below this line. A great way to reference it is you go right into the middle of this little line right here. So you're gonna bring your crosshair all the way up to where it's just right there, and then a little bit to the right for good measure, and then shoot right through that. And you've done 346 damage right to this guy's face if he's tucked all the way up into this corner. Now, if you don't like that lineup, you can also just aim right for that white dot while you're crouched. And that's also going to do right at 100 damage because it's going to hit the guy right here towards the stomach area, or I guess in a little bit worse of an area than the stomach. That's going to do right at 100 damage, but if they're moved up or back a little bit, you may end up doing the chest and only doing 80 plus damage. So I definitely recommend just going for the headshot if you're able to get that lineup consistent. Unfortunately for Anubis, the majority of the map is made out of gigantic stone bricks, which doesn't really translate well into shooting through them. But fortunately in mid, there's a gigantic wooden door that's very easy to shoot through, paired with a very common angle that a lot of CTs like to sit in and hold. So a great way to deal with that is to come right here into this position. There's a nice blue dot right here once you've cleared out this area of mid, and you can crouch, scope in, and find this dark spot on this pillar, and just move all the way over to the right while keeping your crosshair lined up with that into the intersection between the door and this little hinge here, and you can just left click with that op, and that's going to go through for 200 damage on anyone standing right here in this position. It's a fantastic lineup to go for because you're going to catch players in here quite often. It's a really fun one to hit, and hey, they're going to be very surprised when they're not even exposed. They don't even think they're exposed to door, and they just get absolutely bopped by your op. So as crazy as this may seem, if you get a teammate to boost you up into this position early round, you can actually scope in here and find this little crevice in this rock, and right towards the top of it, if you just shoot through it with an op, you can actually kill a CT if you catch the timing right as they're running through red room off the beginning of spawn. If you shoot right around the 150 mark, that's probably the best timing to do this, you may just get an opening round op wallbang headshot kill before the CTs even make it out into mid. And finally, let's go ahead and talk about Dust 2 for all of you Dust 2 demons out there. So if you ever feel like you're pushing up towards A and there's going to be someone set up in Ninja here, it's really easy. You just come along this back wall here, and once you're able to see the left kind of panel of this box, just aim right in the middle of that and shoot with the op, and you're gonna every single time headshot this guy for 307 damage. It's actually pretty loose. As long as you're right towards the middle of the box, you're generally gonna hit it, right? Now the only concern is, what if you have a smoke right here on cross? Well, you're probably not going to be able to do that exact same lineup, right? So what I recommend doing is you just come to this car, especially if you have teammates, moving up and clearing things, right? You don't want to do this without having anyone around to support you. You can jump up right onto the ledge of the car, right? And you can just stand up and you can aim right here on the right-hand side in between this box and this little middle line. And that is going to do the exact same thing and do right at 174 damage. I may have even hit him in the body there. I don't really know. Either way, it would have killed him. So a really good lineup to go for there as well. So yeah, guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. This one wasn't as serious as some of my other tactics focused videos. This is just more for fun. If you enjoy going for crazy wall bangs and impressing your friends in 5 stacks, this video is definitely for you. So anyways, guys, if you learned something new, if you enjoyed this type of content, let me know down in the comments below. And if you want to support the channel, maybe click that Outplayed link down below and share some clips with your friends.